right, a very special edition of this part of the show. Joining us here on set with a look at Axios AM, the co-founder of Axios, Mr. Mike Allen. Mike, what is the one big thing special edition?
Trick or treat a little early. The Axios one big thing is the GOP's worst nightmare. So there's a scenario that Republicans think is increasingly likely, and that is that they get shut out on Election Day 2020, that you lose the House, that Nancy Pelosi keeps the House, you lose the Senate, and President Trump loses the White House. Now, why are they so worried about this? One, we've seen on the show all these House Republican retirements, and the one yesterday, a surprise. Greg Walden from Oregon, top Republican on the Commerce Committee, like very powerful Republican, leaving because the reason so many of these guys are leaving, that they know they're not getting power back. The Senate, very worried because the fundraising is down. Senators now raising less money than people challenging them, so rare, as you know.
I want to switch gears here and talk about the World Series. Interesting that I'm going to be talking about the World Series, though, right? So we know the Washington Nationals competing in the franchise's first ever
they're
World
coming
Series.
back.
They got to win tonight. Right? They just have to win.
Well, that's literally true.
How has literally have to win?
Yes.
How has this team competing for the title made the World Series different than others, especially for Washington?
Okay, so this is
Why are you watching?
I wish I could show you Barnacle's face over there. Barnacle's like making.
Stop! Everybody, stop laughing. I'm asking a serious question of Mike Allen. Barnacle, listen up.
Who scripted this question for her?
So we've lost control here in Studio 8Z. So this is fascinating. It's exclusive data to Axios that because Washington is in the series, there's all these people who are trying to influence decision makers in government, influence makers who are coming on TV. So there's more ads now for enterprise software on the World Series in D.C. and for defense contractors than there are for snacks or beer. And it's all because they're trying to target that Washington audience. This is the rare time that in a casual audience you can sign somebody who can actually sign up for a fighter jet.
Even the World Series not immune from our national political discourse. Let's switch gears for a moment and talk about Jeff Sessions possibly returning to Alabama for a Senate seat run. What do you think of his chances? What do you think of the fact that he would go back?
Well, then we heard the headline earlier on the show, but this is what we're hearing about the idea of the former attorney general going back to Alabama to reclaim his Senate seat. Like, as you know, he was pushed out by President Trump, trolled by President Trump online and in person. We're told that if he were to run, President Trump would attack him, that he could well lose his primary, and that the president is not going to let this happen. But he's popular back home. So it's another reason that the Senate is an exciting place. The Democrat who's there now, Doug Jones, the single most vulnerable senator.
All right, Mike Allen, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. We're going to be reading Axios AM in just a little bit. And to all of our viewers out there, you too can definitely sign up for that. Go to signup.axios.com.
All right, that does it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.